Today we're going to show you the difference between our basic rules and the rule engine. So let's go for it. So we are Datacake. We are aware that you won't want to be monitoring your devices via the dashboards all of the time. You will want to have independence and you will be wanting to have an automated system that alerts you when something happens. So that's the reason why the rules and the rule engine both in different ways are allowing you to set up a threshold, a condition, and an action to it in form of an email or an SMS that will notify in case that something happens with your devices. And now we are going to go to the platform and I'm gonna show you what the rules are and what the rule engine does and what the differences are. And yeah, so usually when you create an account on Datacake, you will see on the sidebar on the left side the rules. And you will see that because that's a legacy feature of Datacake that has always existed there and that allows you to create a condition and a notification. And in this case, we're going to add a rule, and I'm going to explain on the way what you can do with the rules. And usually the rules are very, very simple. You can name your rule. And in this case, we can see that there are some options in there, but we are going to call this a temperature rule. Seems like I have created temperature rules before. And under conditions, you can select a device. From that device, a field and a time range. And in this case, you're going to see the list of 12 fridges that we have in this workspace. This is a cold chain monitoring workspace where we have 12 different fridges that monitor temperature and other conditions. And I'm going to select the fridge 1. And then I'm going to select on the field the internal temperature. In this case, you're going to see other options in here, all of the fields that device is producing. In this case, the internal temperature is what we're going to take, and you can select a time range. That means that you can select the current value or the latest value that the device was getting, but you can also select other options like an average between times, an absolute change, a minimum, a maximum, etc. In this case, we're going to select current value. And then you have this is an if form, so you have an is less than equals to larger than. In this case, because there are fridges, we would like to monitor in case that a temperature goes up. So we would like to have larger than or equals to 0, for example. And you can add more than one condition, actually. You can say and or an or. In this case, we're going to keep it simple and we're going to say only the fridge 1 internal temperature larger than 0. Then we have some options. We have email notifications, we have SMS notifications. You can also call a webhook. And in this case, you can set up, for example, a Slack notification or a Telegram notification. Or you can also send a downlink, which is great because that also allows you to automate processes. If the internal temperature is very large, then send a downlink to another device, for example. But in this case, we're just gonna go for the classic email alert. And I'm going to send myself an email. Dear Teresa, your fridge 01 is getting warm, for example. The fridge 01 has a temperature of, and you can insert placeholders. So you can select the fridge 1, internal temperature, and then add degrees Celsius at the end, for example. And we are going to create this rule. We have other small options like allow retriggering in case that the rules condition gets true 2 times in a row, but we don't want that right now, and we're just going to create a rule. So as you see, we created a rule for one single device with the internal temperature, and it's an email notification. Now we're gonna go to the rule engine, and we are going to do exactly the same thing, and I'm going to show you what the differences are with the rule engine. So we are calling this temperature rule advanced rules. So, and in this case you can also select a time zone, and you are able to select a product. A product is a definition inside of Datacake that allows you to add devices of the same kind to one template, so to say. And in this case, the fridge one is actually the name of the product, and all of those devices are inside of the product. So if we click on show devices, you're going to see the 12 devices inside of it. So that's the benefit number one of the rule engine, is you can create one single rule for 12 devices at once, for 100 devices at once, and that's possible. Now you're gonna ask yourself, okay, maybe I want to filter out some devices. I don't want the 12 devices, but I only want 5 devices that belong to a specific restaurant, for example. And for that, we also have execute rule only for selected devices, and you can filter using tags. So you can filter matching one tag or all tags, and you're going to see here that you have some tags that already exist. In this case, for example, we have certain devices that belong to different people in our team. Some of them belong to me, and if I click on show devices, you're gonna see I only have a fridge 8. But in this case, we're going to execute the rule for all devices of the product. We're gonna leave it like that. And then as triggers, we don't only have measurements of the device, we also have online and offline notifications, and we also have time-based schedule. You can combine them as well, but you can also say, I want a time-based schedule that sends me all temperatures of all devices at 9 a.m. on Mondays, for example. That's allowed. But in this case, we're going to create a rule that's very similar to the one that we created on rules before. So we're going to select a new measurement, and we can define a condition. And in this case, exactly as on the rules, you get the list of measurement fields from the device. So we're going to select internal temperature. And we also have time range operations, which are before time range. You could see an average, minimum, maximum, relative change, sums, counts, etc. In this case, we are going to select current as well. On operation, you have equals, less, greater than, but you also have inside range or outside of a range. Well, let's say greater than or equal. And then you have a comparison value. And in this case, that's another benefit of the rule engine that allows you to compare not only with constant number values, but it also can compare with measurement fields from the triggering device, in case this triggering device has 2 temperatures, for example, or a measurement field from another device, also configuration fields, which is another topic that we might touch on another video. But in this case, we're selecting constant number value, and we're selecting 0 again as on the other rule, and that's it. You can also define more than one condition, as mentioned before on the rules. And as actions, you also have email, SMS, and webhook notifications, and we have the part of automation with a single device downlink and a multi-device downlink. In this case, we're going to select the email notification, and you will see that we also have the classic email creator here. You have some defined subject and message. You can modify that, you can delete it, you can choose to say I want these to be called different, etc. But another really great thing about the rule engine is that you can add the fields directly to it. So in this case, for example, this is an automatic notification to inform you that the device and then a device name activated the rule. The temperature registered was, and then when you start writing temperature, for example, you're going to see here that you have some options, triggering device internal temperature value to 2 decimal places and degrees Celsius, for example. Add new action, and we are going to save the rule. So now you will see that we have temperature rule for advanced rules in here, and on the rules we have a temperature rule. This rule was only for fridge 1, and this rule was covering all devices on the workspace. So now let's test and see if that worked. And we're going to go to our device list, and we can see that fridge 1 was reporting an internal temperature of -5 degrees Celsius, and Datacake allows you to go ahead and set a value manually. And in this case, we're going to set a value of 1 degree. I'm going to set the value, and then we are going to go to our email and see if we got the notifications that we should have gotten. And we're going to see down there 2 alerts. So we have the first one, which is the fridge 01 is getting warm. It's the one from the rules, and the fridge 01 has a temperature of 1 degree Celsius. And if we go to the second one, we are going to see the fridge 1 activated the rule blah 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 temperature rule from advanced rules, and we see also the temperature registered was 1 degree Celsius. So you can see that both got activated. So now let's go back, and let's say that instead of fridge 1 we want to modify fridge 7 now. So we go to configuration, we go down, and we set a temperature of 2 degrees Celsius, for example. Set value. And in this case, fridge 7 was only covered by the rule created from the rule engine. So if we go back, we're only going to see 1 new email in there, and you can already tell that that's the notification from the fridge 7, which activated also the advanced rules rule. And yeah, so before, in case that we would have wanted to have a notification for all of our 12 fridges in here, on the rules we would have had to create 12 different rules, 1 for each device, 1 for each fridge. And on the rule engine we only created 1 for all of the devices. So yeah, those are the benefits of using our rule engine over the rules. And yeah, so how do you get the rule engine activated on your workspace? Because when you create an account, you're going to see the rules, but you're not going to have access to the rule engine. So usually when you have a workspace, and in this case I have the soil moisture demo that we used last week, for example, if you see in there, you're only going to see the rules in there. And to obtain the rule engine, you will have to go to our section add-ons, and there you're going to be able to get it. So once you purchase it, you will see it on the left side menu of your workspace, and you will be able to have it on all of the workspaces that you create and that you use. So as a little summary of rules and the rule engine, the rules allow you to create a notification for a device with a condition, and you can select an email, SMS, webhook, or downlink on those rules. But you will have to create 1 rule per device, and you will have certain limitations. For example, in case that you want to create a time scheduled notification, that's not possible on the rules, on the legacy rules. However, on the other side, those allow you to create very basic email notifications, SMS notifications for your devices, and those are very useful whenever you have a low amount of devices on your workspace. If you are working with a free tier, the rules are more than enough for starting with, yeah, making an experience and see how notifications, automatic notifications work on Datacake. And on the rule engine, on the other side, you will have not only batch configuration of notifications. You can also compare different measurements from different devices for measurements within one single device, and you're also going to be able to add a time schedule notification that allows you, for example, to set up alerts within working hours, only from Mondays to Fridays, for example, or only over the weekends. And you will also be able to set up online and offline notifications for your users and for all of the members on your workspace. So those are basically the differences between rules and the rule engine. And yeah, we really hope that this tutorial and that this video is useful for your project, for starting up with Datacake, and yeah, to give yourself an idea of the possibilities of the platform and what Datacake has to offer. And we are very curious to hear about other videos, other features that you would like to get shown. And if you have any comments, if you have any suggestions on the next video, what the next video's content should be, and if you have any questions, please write a comment below and get in contact, get in touch, write to us. We're very happy to hear from you. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching, and stay tuned.